The Iron Bowl is viewed by many as the best rivalry in all of college football. It usually has SEC championship game implications and national title implications as well. As we go through some of the best rivalries in college football this season, this video was a video that had to be done. This is the history of the Iron Bowl. This is the history of college football's greatest rivalry. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I plan to release multiple videos a week this season. Also, let me know what your favorite college football rivalry is in the comments section below. Before we talk about the history of the rivalry, let's talk about our teams. Alabama began playing football in 1892, and they have 33 conference titles, 29 in the SEC, and 4 from the SoCon. Check out my video about that conference in the description below. They have 18 claimed national titles, 5 unclaimed national titles, and have been the definition of dominance in the modern era of college football. They have made an NCAA record 76 postseason bowl game appearances and 46 bowl wins. They have been to the college football playoffs 7 times and have won it 3 times. They have an all-time record of 961, 336, and 43. Which is the 3rd most in NCAA history, with the winningest coach being Bear Bryant, who went 220, 40, and 9, followed by current head coach Nick Saban, who has a 189 and 27 record. Since Saban's arrival, the Tide have won 6 national titles. Auburn, on the other hand, began playing college football in 1892. They have won 16 conference titles, 8 SEC titles, 7 Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Association titles, and 1 SoCon title. They have had 12 undefeated seasons, made 44 postseason bowl game appearances, and are one of the winningest programs in college football with their 785, 452, and 47 record. They have won 5 claimed national titles and 1 unclaimed national title, and have made the national title game multiple times. Their winningest head coach is Ralph Jordan, who went 176, 83, and 6, followed by Mike Donahue, who went 106, 35, and 5, and Pat Dye, who went 95, 39, and 4. They are currently coached by first-year head coach Hugh Freeze, who previously spent time at Ole Miss and Liberty. In the state of Alabama, you are either Roll Tide or War Eagle, and it truly means something. Anytime I meet someone from the state of Alabama, it's the first question I ask, and I usually get a response with no hesitation. There are no fans who are fans of both, it's just not allowed. The rivalry is actually linked to a bitter political debate that took place in Alabama's state legislation. This was in regards of the new land-grant college under the state's application under the Morrill Land-Grant Act of 1862 during the Civil War Reconstruction era. The state legislature, influenced heavily by the representatives who were University of Alabama alumni, pushed to sell the land scrips of 240,000 acres acquired from the Morrill Act after a new land holding held in conjunction with the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. The debate lasted over 4 years until Lee County and the city of Auburn won the location of the new university in 1872. After donating more than 100 acres and the remaining buildings and property of East Alabama Male College, there were withholdings of state funding for many years, which almost led to the demise of Auburn, then known as the Agricultural and Mechanical College of Alabama, and had that happen, the land scripts would have gone back to Bama. Since the late 1800s, these two schools have been fighting on and off the field. The first Iron Bowl occurred in February of 1893 in front of 5,000 fans at Lakeview Park in Birmingham, Alabama. Auburn won the game 32-22, and disagreements spurred from the beginning. Auburn marked this as the first game of the 93 season, while Alabama considers it the last game of the 92 season. From the beginning, you could not get these two schools to agree on anything. The battle off the field continued, though, at the end of the 1800s into the 1900s. In 1907, during a state legislature session that year, lawmakers started a debate to move the state's land-grant college from Auburn to Birmingham. The motion failed, but the same year the football rivalry took it up a notch, too. Tide coach Doc Pollard employed what he called the military shift against Auburn in the '06 matchup. Pre-snap movements, which every player except the center moved to create an unbalanced line. The next year, Pollard installed the varsity two-step, and this enraged Auburn head coach Mike Donahue, who wanted to cancel the rivalry and protest and wanted to bring referees in from outside the South. Alabama refused, and the 1907 game ended in a 6-6 tie. For For the next 41 years, the schools would not play each other. Rumors were it was to keep peace between the two schools, while others believe it was money related. According to a historian, the money issue was over $34. James Park from the Sports Illustrated wrote an amazing piece about this last year. In his piece, he writes, for the 1907 game, the hotel allowance for each player, 17 players per team, amounted to $2 per man, per day, including the hotel and meals. Then in 1908, Auburn team manager Thomas Bragg sent Alabama coach Doc Pollard a proposed contract that asked for $3.50 per man, per day, for 22 players over 2 nights. Bama's counteroffer was $3 per man for 20 players. Auburn said no, and months of back and forth ensued. An argument that lasted so long that by the time any kind of settlement could be reached, it was already time to set the 1908 football schedule. That year, both sides attempted to reinstate the series. All they had to do was come up with a date. But even then, Alabama and Auburn couldn't quite see things the same way. When they finally came to an agreement on the money issue, issues occurred when it came time to actually scheduling the football game. Auburn proposed 4 dates to play the game. 2 of those dates passed before they even replied, and the other 2 had a game already scheduled for the Tide and was a Saturday after Thanksgiving. Bama wouldn't move their game against Haskell Institute, and Auburn did not want to play after Thanksgiving, so it looked like the Iron Bowl was done. Alabama would evolve into a football powerhouse, having 14 straight winning seasons, while Auburn found moderate success as well. In 1923, Auburn shot down reinstating the rivalry, while Alabama did the same in 1944. After 1944, the Alabama state legislature passed a series of resolutions that the schools should meet again in football, but neither Auburn or Alabama paid any attention to them. Finally, with fears that the state may start withholding funding to the universities, Bama decided to bring the Iron Bowl back, with both sides believing it would be best to host the game at a neutral site. They chose to play at Legion Field in Birmingham. The game would be held there until 1989, when it moved to Auburn for the first time. The 1948 game was a crazy one, with fans and alumni from both schools letting out everything they had held back for years. Gates were open hours before the game, allowing fans from both teams to fill the stadium early and engage in shouting matches of Roll Tide and War Eagle at each other. After 41 years, Alabama and Auburn played a game of football. Alabama won 55-0, and to this day is the largest margin of victory in the series. The rivalry was back and was going to be here to stay. 1964 would be the first televised iteration of the Iron Bowl, with Joe Namath leading Bama to a 21-14 victory. In 1967, on a rain-soaked Legion Field, Ken Stabler ran for a 47-yard game-winning touchdown, a play deemed as the run in the mud during the first night game in series history. In 1971, both teams entered the game undefeated and untied for the first time in the series. Number 3 Alabama defeated number 5 Auburn 31-7 at Legion Field. In 1972, Auburn blocked 2 punts and returned both for touchdowns, leading to the improbable 17-16 Auburn win and the coining of the new phrase among Auburn fans, "Punt, Bama, punt." In 1982, Auburn won 23-22, driving the length of the field in the final 2 minutes, with freshman running back Bo Jackson scoring the game-winning touchdown on a memorable play called Bo Over the Top. This was Auburn's first Iron Bowl win in 10 years, and the last to be coached by Bear Bryant, who retired after the season and died exactly 60 days after the game. Bama's 9-game win streak was the longest in series history. 1985 is viewed as one of the greatest matchups in series history, with Bama hitting a game-winning field goal as time expired. In 1989, Auburn upset number 2 Alabama in the first matchup played at Auburn's home field. In 1993, the number 6 Auburn Tigers defeated number 11 Alabama 22-14 to finish the season undefeated at 11-0. The game at Jordan-Hare Stadium was not televised due to Auburn's probation, but was shown on a closed-circuit television before 47,421 fans at Bryant-Denny Stadium. 2000 saw the first game played in Tuscaloosa since 1901, with Auburn winning 9-0. In 2008, number 1 Alabama defeated unranked Auburn 36-0 at Bryant-Denny Stadium in the last game at Auburn for coach Tommy Tuberville. The victory was the first ever for Alabama over Auburn in Tuscaloosa and snapped a 6-game Auburn series winning streak. In 2013, we saw the Kick 6, which was voted the best game of the year in any sport by the ESPYs.
25-30, 35-40, 45-50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
In 2021, Alabama won a 4-overtime thriller after forcing overtime with a 97-yard scoring drive to tie the game, led by quarterback Bryce Young. It became the first overtime game in series history. So why is it called the Iron Bowl? Well, in the early 20th century, Birmingham was the leading industrial city of the South, rivaling Pittsburgh in the production of pig iron, coke, coal, and manufacturing of steel. Thus, the term Iron Bowl came to represent the rivalry. Alabama is currently on a 3-game win streak and holds a series lead of 49, 37-1, with this year's game looking to be another special game, with Bama fighting for the college football playoff spot and a spot in the SEC title. But can Auburn play spoiler? We will have to wait and see. But what do you think? What is your favorite college football rivalry? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more college football content. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.